Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to Children's Church. I am so excited you are here today, and I have some exciting videos to share with you. I have some of your friends who are going to join us here in a minute for Children's Church. So I know you guys are missing each other, and we need to join together. So I'm going to be sharing them during our scripture reading. So in a minute, I will be with you. And here I am. Way. Wow, that's crazy, right? Welcome to Children's Church, boys and girls. As you can tell, I'm learning some new things with technology. But I'm excited to be here with you, and I have some recordings for you from our helpers in Children's Church. You know, we always have service leadership jobs, and we are going to have people reading scripture, doing our memory verse. It might be a little glitchy here as I move between screens, but I thought it would be fun for you to see your friends, and tell mom and dad to watch for their emails, because I will be emailing your parents asking if you want to help with Children's Church. Isn't that exciting? So this week we have Hannah Roth and Ben Roth helping us, and it's going to be a blast. And this week we are going to be talking about grace. And we're going to be using one of my Max Lucado books that I've been using. This is our last week with our Max Lucado series. So I'm excited that we are going to be talking about grace and what does that mean, and showing grace in a great story that I'll be sharing in a few minutes. As usual, we are going to start with a worship song, because remember I said you need to get your parents and your brothers and sisters in the room to worship with you. So right now we are going to be sharing the song Down to the River. You guys know that song, and you guys know the moves. So I'm going to go off video here, and I'm going to let you sing along with your family. So it's going to be Down to the River. So get ready. We want to teach everyone in the house these songs, so when we come back to Children's Church, and the big church, mind you, that the parents will all be singing that song with us. So here we go. Ready?
I know a place where we can go to lay the troubles down, meeting your soul. I know a place where mercy flows. Take the stains, make it whiter than snow. Like a tide, it is rising up deep inside. seen it move in my own life. Took me from dusty roads into paradise. All of my dirt, all of my shame, drowned in the streams that have made me born again. Like a tide, it is rising up deep inside a current that moves and makes it come alive. Living water that brings the dead to life. Oh, we're going down to the river, down to the river, down to the river to pray. Let's get washed by the water, washed by the water, and rise up in amazing grace. Let's go down, down, down to the river. You will leave change. Let's go down, down, down to the river. Never the same. Let's go down. Let's go down. Let's go down. We're going down to the river, down to the river, down to the river to pray. Let's get washed by the water, washed by the water, and rise up in amazing grace. Let's go down, down, down to the river. You will leave change. Let's go down, down, down to the river. Never the same. Oh, down. Gonna go down in amazing grace. Down, down, down to the river. Gonna go down in amazing grace.
Okay, boys and girls, did you worship with your family? That is one of our oldies but goodies that we do in children's church. So I hope that you were singing and doing the motions. We need to continue worshiping at home. We need to make sure that we are worshiping and praying and practicing our Bible prayer, Bible reading, and all of our daily prayers. We aren't together, boys and girls, and those are things that you need to remember to do while we aren't together. Because every Sunday, I remind you, get your prayer journal out, write down your prayers, write down your praises so that we can keep track of how God is working in our lives. So now we are going to do our final Max Lucado book. I'm excited about starting this book, and we are going to just wrap up this week with this series with learning about grace and what it really means about showing grace to our family and our friends and strangers and our church family. We are going to learn through this story. So I'm going to share here with the screen as we move into the book. And the story is called All You Will Ever Need. All You Ever Need by Max Lucado. Okay, here we go. Years ago, there was a village in a desert land. In this dry land, there was very little water. It seldom rained. But when it did, the people scurried about, capturing what they could in the buckets and pots they had. Every drop was like the purest of gold. But even though the land was dry, the people were never thirsty, for nearby lived a man named Tobias, who owned a deep wellspring from which poured clear and cool water. The people called Tobias the water master, and they loved him very much. He shared his treasure with them and everyone in the village. All they had to do was ask, and the water master would be gladly to let them dip their buckets in the well. Drink all you want, he offered. Not only did Tobias share from his well, but he taught his son to do this also. Tobias and his son, Julian, would help the people dip their buckets and carry their loads. Day after day, the people would come to the well. Tobias would smile and say, "Take all you need." He would talk to the people about their lives. He would laugh with them and inquire about their hopes and dreams, while Julian helped them draw water for their families. Tobias was a kind friend, always ready to help the villagers. One day, the water master announced to the village, "My son and I are going away for a while. While we're gone, my servant, Elzer, will watch over the well. He will give you all the water you need." With that, the water master and his son turned and walked up the road leading from the village. The people were sad to see him leave, but they trust Elver to supply their needs. And indeed, Elver did just what the water master said. Each day when the villagers came to ask for water, he eagerly filled their buckets. As he did, he told the people, "Take all you need. There is plenty of water for all." For a time, the village went about as business as usual. But then, one day, Elver noticed that the villagers were not grateful when they received their water. They just took their full buckets and raced away without one word of thanks. This troubled him so much that he decided to stop giving water to everyone. He forgot the water master's kindness to all. Instead, he announced to the villagers, "From now on, I will not give water to those who aren't thankful." The people were surprised. After his announcement, all the villagers tried hard to remember to thank him when they would receive their water. Sometime later, Albert noticed that some people were unkind to their neighbors and mean to their animals. Again, the substitute water master was bothered. He determined to give water only to the nice people. "If you are mean to your animals or unkind to your neighbors, you will get no water," he announced. The people worked hard to please him so they wouldn't go thirsty. But as time passed, the taskmaster continued to find new fault in all the people. "You are too busy. You are too lazy. You are not quick enough, or smart enough, or pretty enough." With each decision, fewer and fewer people were given water. Over time, the villagers grew sad and angry. "How can we ever be good enough for you?" they questioned. "We'll all die of thirst," they cried. As Elver's rules grew longer, the line for water grew shorter. The people were growing thirsty and began to give up. "It is no use," the people cried. "We can't please you." In the midst of all the shouting, a quiet figure approached. The villagers. Helver's eyes looked at the man suspiciously. "Another thirsty soul, no doubt," he growled. "Can you show that you are worthy of water?" he said. The man quickly strode to the well and turned to the people. "I have come to help you," he said. Helver was angry. "Just who do you think you are?" The man removed his cloak, and the villagers gasped. When they saw the familiar face, they began to whisper among themselves, "I am Julian, the son of the water master. My father sent me to share water with all the people." And that the people cheered. Elvar became afraid. The villagers wanted revenge. "No more water for him," they shouted. The son held up his hand to the crowd to quiet them. "My father's water is a gift to all," he said patiently. "But Elvar was cruel to us." "I know he was. But if water were given only to good people, who could drink?" No one spoke. The son placed his hand on Elvar's shoulder. "Freely you have received, freely I give." The people looked at each other and were silent. They knew the son's words were wise and true. And so from that day on, Elvar was forgiven and the water was shared freely. Oh, what a great story, boys and girls. Don't you think? I think it was a great story. What kind of story do you what do you think this story relates to? I gave you a hint at the beginning of Children's Church. Grace, right? Julian showed Elvar grace. He made some mistakes. He prejudged people, but the grace was still flown into them and given, right? There was water talked about in this story, but it was mainly about how God can show us grace even in our mistakes. We are to be remorseful, and we are to be ask for forgiveness, but his grace is waiting for us, boys and girls. Today, we are going to be reading in scripture, and I have a friend here to share with you. So Ben Roth is going to share with us scripture today, and I'm going to share it here on the screen for all of us. And I am so excited to have you guys involved in Children's Church this way. So we're going to share, I'm going to share the screen, and Ben is going to share the scripture with us, and then we'll have it on the screen in a minute.
Today I will be reading Luke 23:32 through 46. Two others, both criminals, were led out to be executed with him. When they came to the place called the Skull, they nailed him to the cross, and the criminals were also crucified, one on the right and one on the left. Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they are doing." And the soldiers gambled for the clothes by throwing dice. The crowd watched, and the leaders scoffed. He saved others, they said. Let him save himself if he is really God's Messiah, the chosen one." The soldiers mocked him too by offering him a drink of sour wine. They told him, "If you are the King of the Jews, save yourselves." A sign was fastened above him with Jesus' words, "This is the King of the Jews." One of the criminals hanging beside him scoffed, "So you are the Messiah, are you? Prove it by saving yourselves and us too while you're at it." But the other criminals protested, Don't you fear God even when you have been sentenced to die? We deserve to die for our crimes. But this man hasn't done anything wrong." Then he said, Jesus, remember me when you come into the kingdom." And Jesus replied, "I assure you, today you will be with me in paradise." By the time it was about noon, and darkness fell across the whole land until 3 o'clock, the light from the sun was gone, And suddenly the curtains of the sanctuary of the temple was torn down the middle. Then Jesus shouted, "Father, I entrust my spirit into your hands." And with those words he breathed his last. Today I will be...
Thank you, Benjo, for reading our scripture today. Boys and girls, I'm going to share it here on the screen while we kind of talk about why did I share that scripture with this story? Well, when I think about grace, I think about this time, this moment in time, when Jesus is there dying on the cross, and he could have very, very much have just felt sorry for himself. But what did he do? He gave the gift of paradise, of eternal life, to someone hanging next to him, right? He showed grace to someone that the world would have thought deserved what he got by hanging next to Jesus for his criminal acts. But Jesus showed grace, right? So boys and girls, if we are giving grace, we are to show grace. We are giving grace. We receive grace, then we should show it. So boys and girls, this week, my challenge to you is to remember to always be showing grace to others. Our memory verse today is in Hebrew 14:16, and guess what? I have another friend here to say the memory verse for you. Now, boys and girls, remember, you can send me your memory verse on video as well. So you can get a prize in the mail, because I love mailing prizes. Every Thursday, I mail prizes. So I would love to send you a prize for when you are reading our memory verse of the week. Reading or memorizing it, we're apart from each other, and if you want to go ahead and read it because you're not real good at memorizing it, that's okay too, right? Some of us aren't that great at memorizing things. So I am happy to have you go ahead and just read it to me on video. So here is Hannah Roth. She's going to say the scripture.
Let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in time of need. Hebrews 4:16.
Okay, Hannah is so fast at that. I'm going to do it one more time and let her tell us one more time. How about that?
Let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in time of need. Hebrews 4:16.
Good job, Hannah. Thank you for sharing the memory verse with us today. Okay, so Hebrews 4, what? What was it, boys and girls? Do you remember Hebrews what? 4:16. Yeah, 4:16. And I have an activity sheet for you today. It is on our resource page. I'm going to get the screen a little bit bigger here for you. So it's on our resource page on our church website under our home resources. And if you color this page and send me a picture, another prize. Aren't you excited? My Wednesday night kids, you got to see my big giant bin of prizes. So you can earn a prize by sending me a picture of you coloring your page, and it's your memory verse page. Hang it up. You could cut out the edges and hang it up on your door in your bedroom to remind us that when we have received grace, we should show grace to others, boys and girls. It was so great to be with you today. I am excited about seeing you on Mondays at 10 a.m. and Wednesdays at 6:45 p.m. And don't forget, send me your memory verse recordings and your